Good morning, good morning. Happy Wednesday. How is everyone today? Well, we are going to make a fun card for our card tutorial Wednesday. What's she making Wednesday? And we're going to be using the new Shepherd's Care stamp set. This is a standalone stamp set in the catalog. And so there's no dies that go with it, but I love this set. And so earlier this month, I participated in a card swap with some top demonstrators. And this was the box I created. So I used one of our paper pumpkin boxes that was beautiful. Who could get rid of that, right? And decorated it. And then I sent, so what a swap is where you send, this one was 20, so I sent 20 of the card that I created. And then in turn, I was mailed back, it's kind of like trading cards. I was mailed back 20 different cards made by some top demonstrators. And so, oh my gosh, so many ideas, so much fun, all of that. It was a blast. I loved participating in that, learned some new techniques and all kinds of fun. And so today's card is actually my card from the swap. So this is what I sent out. So I put, my info sheet in there. And then here is the card that I created using the Shepherd's Care stamp set. So it's a fun fold. So that's what we'll be doing today. It's a fun fold. And then it just opens up and you've got the gorgeous sentiments. I love the watercolor look of this stamp. I think it's beautiful and it just does so much. So I'm using lots of new products here, and so that is what we are today. So let me bring in my paper trimmer, and I've got a piece of Mossy Meadow. So for this card base, we're gonna cut it down the middle on the short side, so just at 4 1/4. And while I'm doing this, remember, post on my blog all the measurements, all the supplies, all the step-by-step instructions, as well as if you're part of my Buzz Bulletin, my weekly free email, then you will get the free printable PDF of this tomorrow in your inbox. So make sure you're subscribed in the description below if you are not already. So we've just cut this in half on the short side, and we've scored it down the middle at 5 1/2. And so now we're going to cut off 3 inches off of one of the sides. And this is the card base. So that is like the very bones of our card right there. So easy, easy peasy, this fun fold. I love easy fun folds. I think they're wowy, but they don't have to also be hard, right? So I've just scored that with my bone folder. And let's put together a couple of the pieces. So I've got a piece of this beautiful greenery vellum. This is an online exclusive. I think it's so beautiful. I've already cut this for us. And so we're just going to adhere a little bit with some Stampin' Seal Plus right to this top piece here. So it doesn't need to attach everywhere. It just kind of needs to attach in the middle. So we've got that there. The Seasons of Greenery vellum. I think it's just so beautiful. Okay, and then we're going to use a bit of our new ribbon. This is satin ribbon, and then it's in the cherry cobbler and gold. So it's got this beautiful, I just keep a push pin. This is not Organizing Friday, but I keep a push pin in my ribbon so then the strings are not all over. but it is just this beautiful, beautiful cherry cobbler ribbon, and I love that subtle gold that is on there. So we'll be using that. I'm gonna put all this aside though, and let's do some stamping. So I've already pre-cut some of our pieces. So this is die cut from the Deckled Rectangles, one of my absolute favorite die sets. I talk about this one often. I think it's a basic die that is great for everyone's crafting needs, right? I love basic shapes because you can use them in all your card making and all your paper crafting. I mean, wouldn't this be a cute frame if you were doing some scrapbooking, right? For a photo. Hey, Avril, good morning. Okay, so we've got this, and I've got some Mossy Meadow ink. So I'm just gonna open this up. We've got our shepherd stamp, and I already have this on our block. This is a red rubber stamp, our cling stamp. So I love these because anytime there's a red rubber stamp, it's really detailed, and you will see that with all of the beautiful shading that happens in this stamp. So I'm just gonna ink this up in the Mossy Meadow. And I just like to keep checking the back, and I'm just looking that ink is everywhere. So we're just kind of, since it's a bigger stamp, you even could ink it upside down, but I just think this image is beautiful. So we're just going to stamp this down to the left here of our card, or basic white die cut. And there we have our beautiful shepherd stamp. So just look at the detail. One stamp. Good morning, Cheryl. One stamp, and it looks all watercolored, shaded. It is just beautiful. I think they have designed this beautifully, for lack of a better word. But I love, love, love how it does all that. So you don't even need to color it. You know, some stamps you need to color in. You need to do all kinds of things. One color of ink is just beautiful on this stamp. So I love that. Okay, the next thing that we are gonna stamp is the inside piece. And so I have just another inside basic white layer. We've got our piece that we cut off from the front of our card, and I also have a piece of cherry cobbler that we're gonna use to layer here. So let's do some stamping. So for this, I'm gonna bring in some of that cherry cobbler ink. Open that up. And the first stamp, we're gonna stamp 2 sentiments in this. So peace on earth down here. And then I love this sentiment, praying that you will feel the good shepherd's care in this season and throughout the coming year. So it is just a beautiful sentiment. I love this one here, wonderful counselor, Prince of Peace, mighty God, everlasting Father. That is beautiful. You could punch that out with one of our circle punches, and that would be gorgeous too. And I really love this sentiment. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. So this would be a beautiful sentiment for, you know, like a sympathy card or someone who's going through, you know, something real tough. That would be a great sentiment for that. So this set can double, you know, as Christmas, as New Year's, as just well wishes, and, you know, even into a caring card for someone, right? So I love, love, love that. Okay, so we've got our piece on earth, and so this we're gonna ink up in the cherry cobbler, and we're gonna stamp this down on the very bottom of our inside piece, and you'll see why. So just hold it there, bring that up, and we've got our piece of earth on the bottom, because this is gonna show through. So see how we have the piece on earth on the bottom, even though that's the inside piece, it will show through. And then our other sentiment, we're gonna stamp near the top here. So we've got that one, we're gonna ink that up also in the cherry cobbler. And this, we're going to do a little bit more towards the top here. So we've got that. Perfect, perfect. And then we're gonna take a cherry cobbler Stampin' Right marker. So yesterday on our Technique Tuesday, we talked all about splatter, and so we're gonna use splatter today. And for this, we're just gonna use a Stampin' Right marker. So I just wanted some little splatters kind of along the border of our inside piece. So you can see I just kind of did a little bit of an edge with that. Then we're gonna take this piece and we're gonna do the same thing, but this one, we're gonna splatter all over. So we're almost creating like a whole background piece with it. You could do this before you stamp, but I liked how it turned out when I did it after, so it was kind of on top of that mossy meadow. So you can see how it just gives some interest to that stamped piece with those little splatter speckles. I love that. So that was with our Stampin' Right marker in the same cherry cobbler. And our card is pretty much done. We're just gonna put it together now. So I'm gonna grab my liquid glue or green glue, and we're gonna add this piece to the inside of our card base. Simple enough, right? And I just like the green glue for all these layer pieces because I can adjust it as needed. If I need to go a little left or a little right, I can adjust that. Okay, so we've got that done. Now we're gonna take our ribbon before we do anything else, and we are going to tie a bow around just this top piece before we attach anything else. So I'm just gonna make sure that that is there. Let me get a little bit extra here. And then what I like to do is kind of tie it like this, because we want it over here to the left side, and then turn it upside down to me. Well, I guess to you too. Let me put my ribbon on the other side. There we go. Okay, so now we've got it kind of upside down, and then we're going to tie just a shoestring bow, just like you're tying your laces, right? There we go. And then, now what is going on here? Something, there. Something is not right. Let's just start over. How about that? Okay, so we've got that wrapped around. We've turned it upside down. Let me make sure this is all flat. I think that is what my issue is. And sometimes what I will do, and let me just do it here so that you guys can see, is I will tie just a knot first so that this lays flat. That's probably what my issue was. Okay, see? Anybody can paper craft, right? Then we tie our bow. That looks much better. Upside down. And the reason that we do that is so that the tails of the bow are facing the right direction when we're looking at our card, right? Okay, that looks much better. Okay, so now I'm gonna bring in my designated ribbon scissors. So you know I am a proponent of having a couple of pairs of scissors. I actually have, I don't know, like 10 pairs of scissors here, paper snips. I love our Stampin' Up snips. Yes, you could use any scissors, but ours are so sharp and pointed at the edges that it really does make a difference. So I have about 10 pairs of them, but I like to put these little scissor charms on my ones that are designated for ribbon so that I know that I always use this piece for my ribbon. I have designated ones for my adhesive. I have designated ones for paper. That way, they always stay with their medium. So the sticky ones with adhesive never get on my paper. My ribbon ones are always super sharp and they only will cut our ribbon. And so I love having that designated, those designated scissors, right? Okay, so we've got this attached now. Now we can decide where we want it. Kind of up, down, middle. I kind of have it in the middle here. And then let's put together this piece. So we've got a piece of cherry cobbler that we're just gonna adhere to that green piece that we cut off when we made our card base. And we're just creating this really thin layer. And then our stamped piece, we're gonna do the same thing and layer that. So layering your cards like this, yes, you could have just put this piece directly onto that green, base that we cut off, but when we add those extra layers, it just makes our card pop a little more. It makes it stand out a little more. It gives it a little more stability. And so that just makes your whole card feel and look a bit better. So one of the easiest tips for beautifying your cards is to add some layers. And it's a really, really easy way to kind of take your cards up a notch. Okay, so I'm gonna move this down just a tad more. And then what I'm gonna do is bring in some dimensionals. And we're gonna attach this here to the front. We're gonna pop it up using the dimensionals. That's gonna keep our ribbon in place. And it's also gonna allow for the card opening, right? So that this becomes the front focal point of our card. So how we're gonna do that is we're gonna put some dimensionals just along the top first. This is how I like to do it anyway. On the top of my focal piece. And then my other dimensionals I'm gonna take and I'm gonna put them underneath the ribbon. And then we're just gonna put a couple more a little bit closer, not all the way to the end, but a little bit closer just so that it keeps it sturdy, because I do not like saggy cards. So I love to put lots of dimensionals because I don't want the middle to sag. I don't want it to warp or anything. And so I like a lot of stability in my dimensionals. Okay, so we're just gonna line this up so that it's kind of centered. We're just kind of putting it underneath this bow part, centering it at the top and bottom so that our piece on earth shows through, and that so left and right are centered. Now I'm gonna press it down. So now that's stuck there, and that has created our card opening and our focal layer. Isn't that beautiful? Simple, but beautiful. Okay, so now it needs bling. You know me, it needs bling. And boy, did Stampin' Up! Knock it out of the park with this new holiday bling. This is called Druzy. They're called Druzy adhesive backed embellishments, and it comes with silver and gold. And so you can see I always label mine. If there are colors, like Stampin' Up! Colors, I write them in Sharpie on the back of here so that I know what colors they are. And so these are the gold. That's what we're gonna use today. So just look. So Druzy is like a geology term for rocks, and it's like as if we got a diamond, right? And it had all those little I don't even know what we call it, sparkles and layers, right, to those diamonds. So I love these. They're blingier than bling and just beautiful. So I'm just gonna use my Take Your Pick tool, and we're gonna add 3 of these to our card front. So we'll put 2 there. We could put 1 right over here behind our shepherd. So that is, you could even put them down here because of the way that our card is created. But I love these. If you love bling and you love sparkle, oh my goodness. This is like, they are like the sparkliest, shiniest embellishments I think we have. I think they're even sparklier than our rhinestones. So I love these. I totally stocked up because we could use these for anything, right? But I love those. And I love our card. It was a hit in the swap, and so I thought I just have to make this on our Wednesday video. So check out our Buzz Bulletin for the step-by-step tutorial. It's a free printable PDF that I offer every single week for the card that we make each week. So it'll have all the fun fold instructions, all the measurements, all the parts and pieces, and the supply list. So that is my gift to you for liking, sharing with your friends, and supporting our channel. I so appreciate you all being here. I will see you soon. And in the meantime, if you missed any of our past videos or anything, you can check out my blog at stampinqueenbee.com. And if you gotta have any of these supplies, I would so appreciate you finding them in my Stampin' Up! Store online. So thank you so much for spending time with me today. I hope you love our Shepherd's Care card. Can't wait to see what you create with it. And I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye.